wish you could like actually own a piece of your favorite digital art, or like even a share of a hit song?
Yeah.
Well, today we're diving into how that might actually be possible.
Oh, cool.
We're talking about Story.
Okay.
It's a platform that wants to be...
Right. But this goes way beyond cryptocurrency.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Story is like creating a whole new system for how we think about owning and profiting from creative work online.
So instead of just owning, say, a copy of a song on my phone,
Right.
I might actually own a piece of the song itself.
Exactly.
Like a digital deed or something.
Imagine like owning a token that represents 1% of a really popular song.
Okay.
And every time that song gets streamed, you get a micropayment.
That. Okay, that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
So Story has these three main features that kind of make all of this possible.
Right.
First up, tokenizing the world's IP. Can you break that down for me?
Yeah.
What does that even mean in plain English?
Basically,
Yeah.
it means turning something that's always been hard to quantify, like the ownership of an idea, or a creative work, into a digital asset, a token that lives on the blockchain.
Okay.
It's like the difference between owning like a one-of-a-kind painting
Right.
and just having like a print of it.
So instead of just owning a copy, you own a piece of the original.
Right.
But how does that translate into like real world value for creators?
Right.
Especially with AI getting so good at making things these days.
Totally.
That brings us to Story's second big feature, right? Monetizing IP in the age of AI.
Yeah, it all comes down to control.
Okay.
Story wants to give creators the power to decide how their work gets used by AI. Imagine an artist like setting up parameters for how their style can be used.
Okay.
And like letting others generate variations but still retaining control over their original creation.
It's like they're trying to get ahead of all the kind of the anxiety around AI replacing artists and writers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like making sure that human creativity still has value even when AI is involved.
Absolutely. And this is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
It's not just about, protecting existing work.
Right.
Story's third feature, programmable IP for remixing and expansion, opens up a whole new world of collaborative creation.
Okay, so programmable IP. That sounds pretty complex.
Yeah.
What's the simplest way to kind of wrap my head around it?
Think about how musicians sample parts of existing songs.
Okay, yeah.
Programmable IP allows creators to set the rules for how others can use, remix, or even build upon their work while making sure the original artist is always compensated. It's like having a built-in system for legal creative collaboration.
So instead of just admiring a digital artwork online, I might actually be able to interact with it, add to it, or even create something new with it, all while the original artist still retains their rights and potentially profits from it?
Exactly.
That's pretty amazing.
It's all about fostering a more collaborative and participatory creative landscape online, one that's fair to everyone involved.
This all sounds incredibly cool in theory, but what about seeing it in action?
Yeah.
Story has this whole ecosystem of platforms already using its blockchain technology.
Right.
Which one do you think best showcases this, the future is here vibe?
Right.
Especially for our listeners, the ones who really like to dive deep into this stuff.
Oh, that's a tough one. They're all pushing boundaries.
Right.
But for sheer wow factor, I'd have to go with Mahojin.
Mahojin it is. Tell us more. What is it? And how does it use this Story blockchain magic?
In a nutshell, Mahojin is like having a team of AI artists at your fingertips.
Okay.
It's a platform that integrates directly with other apps.
Right.
Give you access to a massive library of AI models and tools to remix and generate images.
So let's say I'm working on a design, maybe a logo or something, and I want to try out a bunch of different background variations or add some cool textures.
Yeah.
I could just tap into Mahojin's AI powers right from my design app.
Exactly. But here's where the Story integration gets really mind-blowing. Mahojin tracks the IP of all those AI models,
Wow.
making sure the original creators get credit and compensated every step of the way.
Wait, so even the AI art itself has its own IP?
Yeah.
And that's all managed through Story?
Precisely.
Ensuring that the artists who create these AI tools are recognized
Right.
and rewarded for their work, even as others use them to create something new.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
That's really cool.
I mean, it's really cool to think about all the possibilities this opens up for collaboration and creative ownership.
For sure.
But let's step back for a second and think about what all of this means on a larger scale for our listener.
Right.
For you.
Yeah.
Why should you care about programmable IP and the future of creativity online?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
This technology has the potential to completely change how we think about creativity and ownership.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where every piece of art, every story,
Yeah.
every idea can be tracked,
Okay.
valued, and even traded, like we trade stocks today.
It's like we're on the verge of a whole new type of digital economy.
Right.
But instead of just buying and selling, we're talking about creativity itself being the currency.
Yeah.
But isn't that a little, I don't know,
Yeah.
risky?
You're right to be cautious.
Okay.
Any new technology comes with its own set of challenges.
Right.
One concern is that everything becomes so focused on buying and selling
Right.
that we lose sight of the artistic value.
Yeah.
Will it stifle true creativity if the main goal is always profit?
So we need to be careful not to prioritize making a quick buck
Right.
over fostering truly meaningful and innovative creative work.
Exactly.
Okay.
And another challenge is making sure this new ecosystem is fair
Right.
and accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
We don't want to create a system where only those with tons of money
Right.
or technical knowledge can participate.
It needs to be about empowering everyone, not just the select few.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So if our listeners are ready to really dive into story and this whole idea of programmable IP,
Yeah.
what are some key questions they should be asking themselves?
Start by thinking about the creators themselves.
Okay.
Will this technology give them more control and allow them to profit from their hard work more effectively? Or will it create new avenues for exploitation that we haven't even considered?
And what about from the side of the consumer?
Right.
How will our experience of art, music, and entertainment change as all of this evolves?
Will we become more aware of things like IP ownership
Right.
and the value of creative work?
Okay.
Will new and exciting forms of creative expression and collaboration emerge?
It's almost like trying to predict the future of the internet itself.
Right.
What will this new landscape look like in 5 or 10 years?
Exactly.
Wow.
This technology has the potential to be as transformative as the internet itself.
Yeah.
And it's unfolding right now.
This is a lot to process.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, what's one last thought you want to leave our listeners with?
Think about this. If story accomplishes everything it sets out to do,
Okay.
and this idea of programmable IP becomes the norm, how might that impact the way we interact with creative content in the future?
Okay.
Will we go from being mostly passive viewers to active participants
Right.
in a constantly evolving world of digital creation?
That's quite a thought to ponder.
It is.
It's exciting to imagine all the possibilities, but also crucial to consider the potential downsides as well. It really does make you think about the future of creativity in a whole new light. And what's so fascinating is that this isn't some, distant future we're talking about. This is happening now.
Right.
Story and this whole ecosystem of platforms, it's all being built right now.
Exactly. It's not just some theoretical concept anymore. It's a living, breathing thing.
So it's not just about understanding the tech, but also about actually engaging with it, seeing what it can do.
And maybe even, shaping where it goes from here.
That's what I find so exciting about all of this, right? It's like we're all standing on the edge of something truly groundbreaking.
Totally.
And we have the opportunity to not just observe it, but to actually be a part of it.
If someone listening to this right now is a creator, this could be the platform that lets them share their work with the world on their own terms.
Totally. And for those of us who, love experiencing and supporting creativity, it's a chance to connect with artists and their work in a much more meaningful way.
It's a win-win for everyone involved.
Well said. I think that's the perfect note to wrap things up on. We've explored story, we've unpacked programmable IP, and we've considered both the incredible potential and the very real challenges that come with, any revolutionary technology.
It's a lot to think about, but
Yeah.
that's what makes it so exciting.
Exactly. So to our listeners, if any of this sparked your curiosity, even a little bit, I really encourage you, dive in, explore Story's website, check out the platforms we talked about, see what resonates with you. Who knows? You might just stumble upon the next big thing in the world of digital creativity.
And if you do, let us know. We'd love to have you back on the show to talk about it.
Absolutely. And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep that creative spark alive. This has been The Deep Dive. We'll see you on the next one.